What's the word, Harrisburg? My name is Matt Maisel. The city of Harrisburg in of itself is one of the most beautiful cities throughout the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Be it the Susquehanna River, the mountains down the river, the sunset over the Susquehanna, the skyline in of itself, it is absolutely gorgeous. Our guest on What's the Word today sees it maybe a little different than you and I do because his view of the city oftentimes is a couple hundred feet in the air. Michael Yatsko is our guest on What's the Word Harrisburg. A well-known photographer in the area. You might have seen his work on Facebook, Instagram. It is absolutely incredible. Michael, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Matt.
So, let's call it the 1,000-foot view of Harrisburg. How do you view the city, and how might that be different than other people who really have just a ground-level perspective?
I love photographing the city from the sky. I feel it gives perspectives that most people can't see. And those unique perspectives, I think, is what makes my photography stand out.
When did you start getting into photography?
I got into photography at a very young age. I had a disposable camera, a film camera growing up. I loved going to Kmart, taking my film there, getting it developed. I eventually moved into digital photography, and from that got into drone photography.
How has the drone kind of changed the game? I mean, we're talking, that's probably what, within the last 5 to 10 years that drone photography has really become a thing. How has that kind of changed your perspective on taking pictures?
Definitely the unique angles I can get are what draws me to drone photography. In the beginning, there were only a few of us kind of out there doing it, but nowadays there's definitely quite a few more. And one of the things I love doing is educating people on aerial photography and some of the laws and requirements that are in place to make it safe and fun for everyone. You
grew up in Wilkes-Barre, up the river, up 81. When did you come to Harrisburg and kind of discover that how photogenic our city is?
I came to Harrisburg about 20 years ago. I was a teacher for most of my life. I taught at Susquehanna School District, and the last 5 years of teaching, all I could really do, unfortunately, was think about photography. So I eventually made the move from teaching to photography, got into real estate photography, and real estate photography is what brought me to drone photography.
What is it about? I mean, we look behind us now, it's this beautiful sunny day, but I mean, me personally, because I like taking photos as well, my favorite days is that partly cloudy mix, where you've got the sun, but you've also got the clouds, and you can see that contrast between the two. A day like today, for example. When you look out over the city right now, what do you see? What do you visualize as a photographer?
Well, I think a lot about sunrise and sunset. And when a lot of people think of those, they think of cloudless skies. But I know clouds are one of the most important ingredients to making a great sunrise or sunset. So when I'm looking at the forecast in the morning, cloudless days are days I might skip going out. But definitely always, if I see a nice mixture, 50 to 70% clouds like this morning, made for an amazing sunrise.
Where are your favorite places to take photos in the city?
Down here, right here on City Island. Most mornings you can find me here. I also shoot a little bit up the river here from the West Shore to get some great views of the Capitol, but the bridges are what kind of draws me in, and also the Capitol itself.
So we have some photos here that you've taken over time. I'm just gonna randomly grab a photo.
Okay.
We're gonna play this game where I randomly grab a picture and you tell me the story behind it. And actually this is a great photo to start with. So we have this photo here, and this is the statue, not technically the city of Harrisburg, right up the river. But tell me a little bit about the Statue of Liberty, island and monument here.
There's actually a great story behind this photo. I have a photo plan. I'm not going to say what the eventual end result is going to be, but this is a scouting mission. I met these two locals on Instagram, Emily, who is a creative in the area, and John, who actually owns the seafood place at the Broad Street Market. We met on Instagram, and I was looking for someone to kayak me out to the Statue of Liberty so I can get an idea if I can make this shot happen. So these two strangers the one night put me in their canoe, paddled me out there. It took about an hour to get out there, and we ended up with this amazing sunset. And I haven't done the photo yet, but it's still on my to-do list, and one day I'll get it and you guys will see it.
This is one of those photos where people look and drive they're driving up 322 and they see the Statue of Liberty, they're like, what? And then the story behind it, how it came to be, is something entirely separate, but that's great. Cannot wait to see that picture. All right, well, this is very timely as well. Again, I did not plan this, I promise. But tell me about this picture right here.
The Broad Street Market has always been one of my favorite places in Harrisburg, and I got kind of introduced to them by some friends, started shooting the market, mostly with my drone, but this was a shot I took about a year ago. The Berg reached out to me and they needed a spring shot for their cover. This did not make the cover, but I noticed these trees down there. I wanted to incorporate the spring trees with the classic, iconic sign of the market there. And personally, I like this one more than the shot they went with, but it's their choice.
All right, let's do two more real quick. Let's go to the very, very back, see what's here. Oh, this is iconic.
Yeah, definitely. I was living in the area when the Walnut Street Bridge lost the one section. I did not get to see it in person, but this is one of my favorite stops in the morning, especially in the winter time. The sun rises right behind the bridge there, and especially if it's a lot of water, a lot of rain, you get some flooding there, and it creates some really, really cool images that you don't normally see.
All right, let's do one more, and then we're going to take that drone up in the sky. I like how, again, we've gotten 4 completely unique pictures here, and this one I feel has the most iconic shot of the city, which is the Capitol.
Right. Yeah, definitely. One of the first stops every morning is on the West Shore, right in front of the Capitol. Always check out that spot first. I was there this morning, got a great shot, as you saw on Instagram. And I like incorporating the bridges any way I can. And this was a unique perspective that, a lot of people don't kind of think to take, but I love the light kind of hitting the bridge, and I've done this shot a number of times since.
All right, so we have your drone, your DJI. We're going to take it up in the sky, and it's definitely a unique day to film the city, so we're going to do that right now. So when you go up in the air, what are you looking for?
I'm looking for angles I've never seen before. A lot of times people shoot things straight on at the Capitol. I'm looking for either looking down at things, gives you a completely new perspective. Just anything that I haven't seen before is what I'm looking for.
So right now, you talk about getting different angles and different views that maybe people don't typically see. What are you looking for specifically right now?
Right now, I'm just taking in a little overview of the city here, just doing a pan, moving down across the skyline. You can see the drone up there. One of the rules of drones is that it always needs to be in visual sight, so it can't be out of your sight. So I'm always making sure, looking up between my screen and the drone, making sure I can see it at all times.
How far distance do you get on these?
Technically, you can go about 2 to 3 miles away.
Wow, okay.
Now, obviously, that far away, you're not going to see it right now. Even if you're not
Yeah,
trained,
right.
it's hard to see, right?
Sure.
But right now, we are about almost 1,000 feet away from us right now.
I would imagine that the clouds today just give, you talked about it earlier, how you're looking for, cloudy days are the best. Mm-hmm. The cloudless days are boring almost.
Yeah.
I would imagine a day like today, you get a really unique perspective, especially in 4K high definition.
Yeah, definitely. And a great day today too. There is some wind, which sometimes makes it a little difficult flying, but you do get the cloud movement, which always adds an interesting element to your shots.
So what is unique about, let's try to get something that you've never seen before. Let's do a little, let's get an image that is unique to Michael Yatsko. Take us someplace that maybe you haven't gotten before.
Okay, so I'm gonna come back down to the Fulton Bank sign. I do have a client right now who's looking for a shot. I think he's actually the vice president of Fulton Bank. He's looking for a
That
shot
would make sense.
of the Fulton Bank with the Capitol in the background. So let's see if we can do that today. So I'm gonna come back down here, kind of see. You see the drone? You see it up there?
I'm looking up. Oh yeah.
A lot of times
Yeah,
it's
you're
either-
flying.
Yeah. So right now, yeah, I'm going about 30 miles an hour. Top speed is about 45. But let's get down here and going close to the Fulton Bank sign. Go up a little bit and we'll move in.
You've got that. It's almost like a halo cloud over it. Someone at Fulton Bank's gonna be really happy when they're all when it's all said and done with this.
So I'm actually going to switch it over. We are on video. I'm going to switch over and take a couple still shots here. That'll change our perspective a little bit.
And then you go in afterwards and do all the post editing and things like that.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. That's beautiful.
Focus, make sure our Fulton Bank sign is in focus. That's the most important part. I know he wants, being the vice president and all. There we go.
And that's what I'm talking about. That is a look of the city that is so unique that no one really has seen before, because it's not natural to be hundreds of feet in the air.
Right.
But to be able to get that, I mean, drone photography changes everything. To be able to get that shot, obviously something that you've never gotten before, you kind of came up with it on the fly. That's got to be like a special feeling.
Oh, it's very exciting. It's very exciting, especially I love when people tell me, this is the best compliment I can get, is you make Harrisburg look beautiful. A lot of people kind of hate on Harrisburg, and I feel kind of my job as a photographer is to bring out the best in the city, and delivering these unique perspectives, I think, is what gets the job done.
Well, Michael, we really appreciate your vision and the way you view the city, and it's exactly why we wanted to bring you on the program, so that more people could see Harrisburg the way you do and see how beautiful it is. So thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome, Matt. Thank you.
And that's the word, Harrisburg. Thank you again for so much for joining us here on WHBG TV Channel 20. We'll catch you next time.